Anything? All right. Hello and welcome to Authors Monetize Your Book. I am really excited to have you here. I'm Charvette Mitchell. For all of the authors that are in the house, those of you that have books that you have fully written, those of us that are contributing authors, I am an author myself in two books as a contributing author, and this is targeted specifically to authors. So if you slipped in and you're not an author yet, I'm not going to kick you out, but I will say our conversation is tailored to and targeted to authors. And so all lines are muted at this point. If you do have a comment or question, feel free to use the chat box. I do want to make sure I cover content, so I'll check it periodically, but I want to make sure that I cover the information that we have for today. So let me go ahead and share my screen and bring up our presentation so that we can go ahead and get ourselves started. I'm going to go ahead and minimize. And if you also want to minimize on your end any videos that you may see across either the top side or the bottom right side, there is an option for you to minimize that little box so that that is out of your way, just in case it's covering up any content that may be showing on the screen. All right, so we want to talk about monetizing your book and what are some strategies and tips that you can make more money based off of your expertise and off of the content that you have already put together in a book. I love working with authors because you guys start the process and start the game really ahead of other people. And so let me go ahead and define what it means when I say monetize, because I realize that that word may be, for some of you, maybe a new word, maybe a word that you haven't heard before. But our friends over in Google and dictionary.com lent this simple description to us. And it's basically the ability for you to utilize something of value, which is your expertise, your book content, your knowledge, as a source of profit. That's simply what monetize means, being able to make money off of something that you have that's of value, and your expertise and the content in your book is valuable and has value. So I wanted to make sure we cover that. And so during this session, I want to talk about the platform you've been building, the audience, the readers you've been building for those that already have books out, and how that audience can help you generate more revenue. And they're actually really looking for more from you. And then also talking about 3 specific areas of how you want to think about products, courses, and services that you offer in 3 specific buckets. Those that are the DIY people, do it yourselves, the done with you, and the done for you. So we're going to get into that and how that relates to you as an author and as a business owner. So I hope you do realize and recognize that even though, and in addition to you having a book, you are a brand yourself. And so I want to level check the group, and this is a great time for you to use the chat. I'm going to ask a couple of questions, and if any of the questions hit you and land in your lap, just type, yep, that's me, yes. Put something in the comments just to just want to check the room and see who we have here. And so if you are a person who people are always wanting to pick your brain, they want to meet for coffee, they want to meet for lunch, they want to meet, listen, I see the chat is already jumping. They just want to pick your brain. Okay, if that's you, and I see people raising their hands. All right, yep, I'm in the house. Is this you? You have really sought after skills. You have high level skill set, but you need help with how to get this out to your audience. You kind of get stuck with what to do with the skill set. If that's you, go ahead and acknowledge that. This is a safe place, a safe zone. I see you in the comments there. I see you in the chat. If that's you, you have a high level skill set. And your audience, your audience needs it. Your readers, your customers, your clients need it. But it's like, what do I do with it is the question. Some of you may be here because you've sold some books. You launched the book, you sold some books, but you realize there's more money to be made. There's more to be made. And yes, I'm seeing some hands raised. I'm seeing a lot of, yes, I know that there's more money out here to be made. All right, we're in the house. Is this you? Maybe you see other authors that are out there, and I'll go ahead and ask you to mute your line. If you are unmuted, go ahead and mute your line for us. You might see other authors who are doing great things. There are some authors, you see them on social media, you see them on LinkedIn, maybe you see them in person, and it's like the book just sent them on a trajectory and they're doing dynamic things. And you're like, you know what? I could be doing that. That's the lane that I want to be in. If that's you and you resonate with that, then go ahead and let us know in the chat. And I see you there. Yep, I see the chat is lit up. Yes, more money to be made. And so as we continue, let's think about this. Do you have ideas? You have content? And I say content because a lot of times those of you that are writers and you naturally write, all of the things that you have written didn't make it into the book. You have more that's even outside of the book. You got enough into the book, but then there was much more to you that you could bring to the table. But maybe you just don't know how to package it outside of a book. Some people that are writers is just, I can write, but I don't know about all this other stuff, videos and audio and jumping on Facebook Live and all that kind of stuff. That's a little bit out of my comfort zone, and I don't know how to package my content outside of a book. I want you to acknowledge that. All right, awesome. And then the last question, really, some of you, are you just saying, you know what, I'm just struggling to break free from the sidelines. I know that I need to get in the game. I know that the world needs to hear what I have, and I'm just needing to get off of the bench and get into the game. And so thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you. I see you. Yes, 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 a lot of us. So let's talk about really what, for some of those responses, what's the real problem? Let's really talk about what's the real problem? What's the real deal? And if I boil it down, really you're missing one thing. You need more products, courses, and services based on your book and your expertise. You need more products, courses, and services based off of your area of expertise that really would solve all of the questions that we just talked about. And let me just stick a pin here to say, book sales alone will not get you to the next level in your revenue goals. All right? Book sales alone won't get you to the next level in your revenue goals. And for those that are coming in, go ahead and mute your lines. We're recording, and we thank you so much for popping in and being in here. All right, so go ahead and mute your lines for us. Okay, great. Awesome. And I'll help some of the mutation that I'm seeing coming through. Okay, great. We took care of that. Book sales alone will not get you where you want to be for your revenue goals. And let me prove it, because book sales are very much like, the book industry is very much like the music industry. With book sales, the industry and the consumer has really set a cap at what you can earn off of a book. Let's just all be honest about that. There's only a certain amount that you can charge that the industry, that the market feels comfortable with, even though your book could be really worth $75 outside of those of you who have academic books and in that arena. Some of you have books, so if you sat down and read it, you'd say, you know what, this book is really worth $75. But the market has put a frame around you and said, well, 10 to 25 is what people are expecting to pay and what they're comfortable in paying. And so what that means is that content is capped. That book sale really is just capping off your revenue. Again, the book market, the book industry is just like the music industry. Here's how I can prove it. If you went to iTunes right now, and I challenge you, go to your phone, pull up your phone, and go to iTunes and look up Beyonce. We all know Beyonce rules the world and in the secular arena as far as music and all of the things that she puts out. Beyonce is ruling the world there. If you go to iTunes, Beyonce's, if you buy one song, it's $1.29. Other artists, 99 cent, 109, 115, she's still in range. Even though Beyonce can fill up stadiums, just like the book industry, the music industry has put a cap of saying, yeah, but this is where the market says your music is valued at. Okay, so what does she do? Her and her husband, they have concerts that people pay 150 to 300 to $600 to attend. That's how she's making her money outside of the CD sale. And guess what? The music that she's doing is the same music that's sold for $1.29 on iTunes. All right, and so what I want to happen is your mindset to shift around your book, your content, and you as the brand and you as the entrepreneur, that there's so much more, so many more possibilities that you bring to the table outside of your book sales. All right, so let's keep things moving here. So let me formally introduce myself, because I realize that there are many of you here on this particular webinar. I'm glad to have you that don't know me. You are just getting introduced to me. So let me formally introduce myself. I am Charvette Mitchell, the creative director of Mitchell Productions Web Design. I also offer a social media and platform coaching, similar to what we are doing tonight. I bring to the table 25 years past experience in corporate America at a financial services company. I graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University with a bachelor's in marketing. Go VCU Rams. I am a co-author as well. So I'm a co-author in 2 books, one called Mogul in the Making and one called Get It Done, Design the Business of Your Dreams. Mogul in the Making, it was a total of 6 authors, and Get It Done, Design the Business of Your Dream, it was a total of 10 of us in that particular book. I'm a talk radio show host, so some of you may be here because of that. I've hosted the Charvette Mitchell radio show for a little over 10 years now, over 300,000 total listeners, over 256 shows, and I've got to say 30 to 40% of those shows have featured authors. 30 to 40% of those shows, the guest had a book. So I have always supported authors and love authors. I'm also the founder of a Facebook group for female entrepreneurs called #Coaching with Vet. Vet, that's me. And we have a little over 1,100 members in that community. They self-elected themselves in. I did not go down my friend's timeline and just start adding people. Everyone that is in the group is someone that has elected to be in there. You are welcome, Anne. She said, thanks for having me on the show. You're quite welcome. I'm also a conference host and workshop host. So I just wrapped up a 3-city tour of a pop-up workshop. I went to Atlanta, Raleigh, North Carolina, and ended up in Laurel, Maryland just 2 weeks ago, leading up to my 2-day full conference, which is December 7th and 8th, which is my 3rd annual conference. I've been featured in Huffington Post, Hope for Women magazine. Literally, as of today, Sona Bank, which is a regional bank here, featured me on their podcast, their Power Plug podcast. It's on my Facebook page. And then I've also been seen on TV as well, CBS 6, Virginia This Morning, and various Comcast cable shows. So that is a little bit about me for those who are brand spanking new to me. You know a little bit more about me. And so let me just share a little bit. A lot of you don't know this, and those that have been connected with me for a while, you may or may not know this either, because I did not make any announcements on social media. I didn't make any announcements in my email list, but I spent, as I mentioned, 25 years in corporate America. I spent 25 years in corporate America, and this past February, I walked away. This past February, I walked away. I walked away from a really great paying job, awesome benefits, four week vacations, 401k with company contributions, over 6-figure salary combined with the salary and my business income. worked from home 99% of the time. And February 2nd, I walked away. And so some of you might say, well, why did you walk away? And thank you for those that are commenting in the chat. Some of you might say, well, why did you walk away? And let me tell you why I walked away. I realized that I was boxing myself in and God, but I realized I was boxing in my potential, that I could monetize my expertise, what I bring to the table, what I share with clients, and I was capping off what my potential was, because at the end of the day, you don't have but so much time in the day, right? You don't have but so much energy. Sometimes it's not even about time, it's about energy. But the main thing was that I realized that I was capping myself off and I was boxing myself in, and I had been building my brand, building my business on the side, and monetizing, and realized that this I can do. I'm a faith-based entrepreneur, so let me say that God is certainly a huge part of that plan and a huge part of this as we've rolled out. And I've got to say, I have no regrets. I met with my accountant last week to look at where I projected I would be and to get ready for Q4 and taxes and all of that. And she said, you're ahead of your revenue goal. She said, now watch your spending. You know, ladies, how we have to do. She said, watch your spending, but you're ahead of your revenue goal. You're ahead of where you said you wanted to be. And so I wanted to share that with you so you have the frame of mind of where I'm coming from. I'm not telling anyone to leave their job. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that I want to help you generate more money. I want to help you generate more revenue. And it really can start with the book. It really can start with the book content that you have, because that shows you have an area of expertise, that shows you have put some time and energy in this, and that you are ready to go. And so I want to talk about 3 types of products and services that you can create based on your book and on your expertise. And so today I am your overwhelm eliminator. I am your confidence igniter, because some of you, this is really only about confidence. Some of you, you will grasp what I'm saying and you will run with it. And then some of you, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna need a little help me out, Charvette. So I'm here to help you out today. So if you're taking notes, this is a good place to jump in and get your note taking going. And so there's 3 ways I want you to think about you as far as a service provider, as far as someone that offers products. There are 3 categories. Yes, yes, B. Jacqueline, overwhelm eliminator. That is what I am. That is what I'm here for. Thank you so much. Do it yourself, DIY. And a lot of you that may be watching the home shopping networks, or watching the different places that, hey, you can renovate your kitchen and do it yourself. So you have the first bucket of what you can offer is that DIY, that do it yourself bucket. Now your book falls in that bucket. And so do it yourself basically means the client and the customer doesn't need any one-on-one interaction with you. They don't need really any interaction with you. They go to your site, they go to Amazon, wherever you send them, in this case, for an example, for your book, and they download the book. So that's one bucket. But I'm going to talk about a few more things in that bucket that you can add based off of your book. Let's move to the second bucket. So again, if you're taking notes, the second bucket is done with you. These are products and services where now you are introduced, you are brought into the mix of fulfilling on this product or service. So there's some involvement with you. You're doing something with them. In this case, this is an example would be a webinar. So like we're doing tonight, this happened to be a complimentary webinar, but this very well could be a paid webinar. And so this will be an example of a done with you product or done with you service. All right. Now we move to the third bucket, which is done for you. So in that scenario, depending on your book and the type of product and genre you're in, and if you could go ahead and take a few minutes in the chat and let me know the title of your book. So for those of you who've written a book, or you are a contributing author or an anthology author, go ahead and let me know either the chapter of your book or the title of your full book. It might be a chapter, it might be a title. So go ahead and just let me know that over in the comments. But for some of you, you have the ability to have what we call done for you services. So let me give you an example. My web design services, that is a done for you services. Great. I'm seeing a lot of great titles here. That's a done for you service. So the client gives me the requirement. We meet, we have a consultation, I sit down, I propose a solution, they give me their content, and I go off and I create a website for them. So the done for you, I just want you to get your wheels turning and thinking, are there services? Oh, great. Nydia, I'm glad to see you in here. I didn't realize you were in here. Are there services and products that you can fulfill for the client based off of the content of your book, or the general, because a lot of times, again, when we talk about the content of the book, some stuff didn't make it all the way into the book, but it's still related to the book. It's still a part of what your topics are. Great. I'm seeing a lot of great titles and things that are coming in. Awesome, awesome. Welcome to all of the gentlemen that are here as well. Welcome to all the gentlemen that are here as well. All right, so we're gonna jump more into this, but this is where kind of our roadmap for the night. And let me just stick a pin here to say, typically from a pricing standpoint, do-it-yourself products are lower priced. Then when you get to done with you types of products and services, the price goes up, and then done for you, which is really a lot of your time and energy, that's the highest price point. All right. So you can already see how if we put the book in the do-it-yourself bucket, how that is limiting what you can generate. All right. So let's keep it moving. So do it yourself. Let's talk about do it yourself. And there might be an animation. I don't know if someone is on animation here and they kind of drew on the screen, but hopefully if that was you, if you can remove that. If not, we'll just keep it moving. Okay, so books, we've already said that's a do-it-yourself product you can have. However, I want you to think about journals. Could you create a journal that would accompany your book or the chapter? If you're an anthology author, could you create a journal that would accompany the chapter or the book that you have? So this works really well if you've sold some books already. Now you have an additional product to sell to people who've already loved you. They're already raving fans. They're already raving readers. This is an additional product that you can have. Now, let me throw this in. You'll notice that I've made note on the slide here that these things are digital and virtual. I'm proposing that you deliver these digitally and virtually, because that way you don't have to get into ordering books, paying for the shipment. Somebody has to go to the post office, mail the books. If in particular, if you're doing the fulfillment yourself, with these digital and virtual products, number one, you don't have a cost other than you creating it. Once you create it once, you can sell it multiple times. You don't have to have it printed. You don't have to pay for shipping. You can have one bedroom shoe on and one bedroom shoe off while people are buying it and you're working on it. So there is no overhead. It's virtually profit. It's virtually all profit outside of just the small execution of people paying for it and getting the product to them. So think about journals as a way to increase your revenue and to monetize your book. Workbooks, let me tell you, workbooks are hugely popular. In particular, and really workbooks can apply for any of these books. Yes, Nydia said, I like that because it eliminates shipping and postage. Absolutely. Many of the book titles that I'm seeing, and shout out to Michelle, she says she's working on a workbook right now. So there's living proof in the chat. Many of your titles, I see a workbook could be a great accompaniment or a sequel or prequel. So even if the person has not read your book or your chapter, is there a workbook that would go well with the topic? Because you got to think about, they're all different types of learners. I know a lot of people in here with an education background. You have people that are auditory. They do well with listening and hearing. People that are visual. Some people need to do stuff. They need to write. They need to see paper. And so a workbook would be a great example. I actually have a free download that is on my website, and it's targeted to my new web design clients, called a website planner. And it is a workbook style. And I got to tell you, as soon as I posted it, now it's complimentary because it's targeted to my web design clients. But I've got to tell you, it started flying off the rack. And I actually had one of my virtual assistants reach out to me today and say, hey, you're speaking on Saturday. Are you going to print and sell any of these website planners? And so I was like, oh, it's a digital product that I'm offering for free. But that was a thought she had, like, hey, perhaps you should print and sell some of these. So workbooks are really, really something that you should look at and consider as another way to monetize your book. Yes. And Patricia is saying people can also order day or night. That's right. And so any of the virtual and digital products, you can be making money in your sleep. You can be making money while you're in Hawaii. And, it's the same thought process of the book, but this is giving you additional things to do outside of the book. Now, worksheets and templates are really popular as well. So depending on your book, if there's a template, if there's something you can show people how to do, if you have mastered how to do something and it can be in a template format where the person can buy it and then they can just tweak and customize the template for themselves and go off and do it, those are selling like hotcakes. Worksheets and templates are really doing well. And so you'll notice when we say worksheets and templates, it doesn't have to be, you've all been through the process already of the 20 pages and the 100 pages and the 200 pages you've had to write. These types of products, the journals and the workbooks, we're talking under 20 pages. Worksheets, that might be 2 or 3 pages. So these are things you can pull the content up out of your book and have something else in addition to sell. Again, we're still in the first bucket of do it yourself. Audio courses. So that's literally you just recording an audio, and it could be of the content. And I've got an example of that from content in your book, and your client just goes to your site or wherever you're delivering this and downloads it, and they pay for it. Again, with the thought process of, there are some people who audio is more of their learning style and more of the way that they like to receive information versus reading. Because some of you might say, well, if it's in the book, will somebody buy the audio? Of course they will. There will be people who will buy the audio and the book, and then there'll be people who will just be attracted to the audio course related to your topics in the book. You want to provide content, products, and services that really meet all of these various learning styles. And then a video course. Now, when I say a video course, it's one that's recorded and they go and they are able to pay for it and they download it and they walk away. So you don't actually have to be there, but it is a product, a virtual product, a digital product that you have available and people can grab it. If any of this is resonating with anyone, I'd love to have you just make a note in the chat to say, okay, this makes sense. So Ann said, how many pages do you think a workbook typically should be? And it's about the content. And so what I would say for a workbook, you could be 15 pages, depending on the content. If you've got something that's really complex, maybe you go higher. You could even go lower if it is a self-help journal. Okay, great. I'm seeing some things. I'm seeing some comments. You could even maybe do 10 pages. So I would base it off of the content. The main thing is that you want to make sure the workbook, when they purchase the workbook and they work on it, they're able to walk away and do something, with it. And so even if it's just one thing. Rachel says she included the worksheets in the book, and she wished she had this information ahead of time, right? So she left some money on the table because she gave the worksheets with the book. So some of you may have been thinking, oh, I was going to do a combo. If you do a combo of a book and a journal, make sure it's priced two separate prices so that you can get more revenue. You can get more of your money. And so Dr. Carla is saying, how would you create these items for an inspirational autobiography? That's a great question, because I know a lot of authors that are here have autobiographies. This is how I would answer that. With an autobiography, typically there have been themes throughout your life. There have been things that you had to overcome, challenges that you had to step up over. And so what I would focus on is, what steps did you take? Steps to overcoming X. Steps to, I was a high school dropout. Let's just say that's somebody's scenario. They're a high school dropout. Now they're a college graduate going on to their doctorate. What did it take to get to that? So there are things that you, or those of you that have autobiographies, that you overcame. Or there are common things. Was it forgiveness? Maybe you had to forgive somebody, and then once you forgave them, again, interwoven in your autobiography, then you saw your life shift. Well, how does somebody walk through forgiveness? So those are just a few examples of things that you could do. So let's do some math, you guys. Let's do some math around the potential of some of the things that you could sell. And again, we're still talking about the do-it-yourself, the DIY bucket or column of your service offerings. Okay, so journals. Let's just say, for example, only 20 people bought a journal that you sold for $15. You just made $300. And again, that's a digital journal. So you didn't have to get it printed. You didn't have to pick it up from the printer. You didn't have to ship it. You didn't have to go to the post office. They were able to download it from your site or another format and pay for it and get their journal. You just made $300. All right, let's look at workbooks and templates. Let's just say, and I put low numbers on purpose. Some of you will do double, triple this, okay? Workbooks and templates. Let's just say for 30 people bought a $27 workbook from you or $27 template package from you. You just made $810. You just made $810 by creating something once that can sell multiple times. And I'm talking about this is maybe one launch of this, and then you launch it again or what have you. All right. Thank you. Stevie said, I'm loving the math breakdown. Nydia said, I'm loving the math breakdown. Yes. Simplicity. And then you just duplicate this. All right. So let's look at audio products. Again, just created an audio course. 40 people bought it for $30. All right. Now you can see already most of these numbers are probably higher than what you're making from a book sale. Because even if your book sells for $25, if it's on Amazon or 20 to 25, Amazon's giving you like $8 of it. So 40 people buy your audio course and you sell it just for $30. You just made $1,200. You just made $1,200 for recording an audio once, making it available based off of the content in your book, based off of your expertise and your knowledge that you bring to the table already. You just made that. And that's just one, I'm just saying that's one time, one launch of it. Video course. Let's say just 30 people buy it and the video course is $47. Just 30 people. You just made $1,410. Do you all see? Is anyone seeing how you can monetize the content in your book? How you can generate more revenue off of the expertise that you already have? Shantae said, how do you create a digital journal? I actually covered that in Product Academy. We'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, Ann said, I've been sleeping on coins. So great. So I'm saying yes. These are simple. Hey, Illy from Philly. These are simple math equations. And the beautiful thing about these products, the journals, the workbook templates, the audio, the video, you don't have to pay for them to get made. So with the book on Amazon, you've got to pay $3 or $3.50. Some of you maybe $2.50 just to buy the book. Then you've got to sell it, even if you're just selling it in person. This is like straight profit. The only thing you're paying for is your PayPal fee and how and that's minimal, or whatever converter you're using as far as getting payment. So these are examples. So I think this is a good time kind of to look at some case studies. Let's take a peek. Let's take a peek at some case studies. And so I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this view here and get us in a place where I can show you some things here. So let me pop this back open so that you all can see, and let me get my Zoom back up here. It has gotten lost on me here. All right, so let me bring up what I need, and I want to be able to show you guys some of this once my controls come up. All right, here we go. All right, so I'm going to stop that share and I'm going to reshare because I want to show you a couple of case studies here so that you see some kind of live interaction. So this is where you should be seeing one of my sites here where I sell digital products. Now, this is a perfect example. This is I have a radio interviewing 101 audio course. It's just $9.99. It's a 30-minute audio course that I created. No, it's 14 minutes. It's 14 minutes, you guys. Literally, this is, and if you can see me on video, this radio interviewing 101 is targeted to artists, authors, those that are preparing to do radio interviews, are kind of really ramping up. This accounts for 4 pages out of Mogul in the Making. I literally took the 4, there's a section in Mogul in the Making that I did on radio interviewing right here. And I literally just recorded an audio of the 4 pages that I talk about radio interviewing in this book and created a separate product for $9.99. The book is only going for like $13 or $15, the whole entire book. I then created this separate course that's a download. You can see right here, people can go buy it. I don't even have any interaction. And I was able to generate another $10 basically off of 4 pages in a book that is already out. And it's available, and it's like a 2-year-old book. But this course has actually been out. I've had this course up since the book came out. That's one example. Let me show you another example. This other example here is one of my clients. And so I've created this website. His name is Roberto Candelera. Roberto specializes in sponsorships. How do you get sponsorships? How do you get corporate sponsorships for events? So let me jump over to his shop page. And again, he's a web design client. But here's the thing. His latest book is called Sponsorship for Influencers. So on his site, you can either get the ebook, purchase that and download it, like probably a lot of you have. He also has the digital, the physical copy. So the $10 for the ebook, and then $15, he actually gives you the ebook and he mails you a physical copy. All right, so his topic is about sponsorships. But look what else he did. Let's look at one example. This right here, sponsorship starter kit. He put together a sample sponsorship letter, a sample sponsorship agreement, and proposal templates. Okay, so we just talked about worksheets and templates. Look what it is selling for, $127. Okay, in essence, off of his bringing his expertise around sponsorship to the table. And then he's got other things here. He's got an audio course. He's got a program. This one is $27, how to structure your sponsorship program. So that's a PDF download. So I just wanted to show you the premise of it is who's doing who is doing the arrows? I need to know. Who's doing the arrows? All right. So you can see the premise of this. And there are various prices. Again, $27, $127, and then he's got things that are $297 and on up. The basis of this, the point of this is that your expertise doesn't have a cap on it. So the book does, $10, $15, but then what else can you pull up out of the book? And I think these templates are probably an amazing example of that, because these are things you need in this case if you are going after sponsorship. So what does a sponsorship letter look like? So just wanted to kind of give you that example of someone who is an author and how he has expanded what he is doing there. All right, so let's go ahead and get back. And I hear a muted line, so I'm going to request that you guys go ahead and mute yourself again so that we can go ahead and get back. So I'm going to stop this share and bring back up our presentation so we can get back into that. If you all are resonating with this, let me know in the comments. Just let me know in the comments if you're like, okay, Charvette, my wheels are spinning. I'm seeing, potential. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to ignite potential. I wanted to make sure that you could see that you have the potential to monetize your book content and your area of expertise. So we talked about that. All right, so let's look at, and I'm going to go ahead and mute a line here that I hear. Okay, great. Let's look at done with you. So we started off with DIY, and there's a ton right there just in the DIY space of products that people can just come grab and get from you based off of your book. Now we're moving into the middle bucket, which is done with you. So this is where you come into the brand. All right. This is where you come into play. Your interaction is involved. Whenever your interaction is involved, remember, the price point goes up. So you notice on the previous slide, we just had $2 signs, $1 sign, excuse me. Now you see we have $2 signs. All right. So this is where we get into more of the courses that you are able to create based off of the content of your actual book. All right. And so e-courses, and hi, Debbie, do you have a question? I see you're unmuted. Do you have a question? All right, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and mute you back. Thank you so much. All right, so e-course, basically an e-course is a course that you deliver online and they get it by way of email. It's nothing fancy. They literally sign up for a course with you and you deliver the content by way of email. So e-courses are one thing that you can do. Teleseminars. A lot of you have heard of teleseminars. A lot of people are using teleseminars for prayer lines, as far as the teleconference line, for prayer lines and things of that nature. People still receive and like to receive a course by the telephone. So the telephone option is not dead. So if you're more comfortable with being on the phone, having a session, then you can do that versus webinar. So we talk about live teleseminars, now live webinars. I want you to think about your book content, and I want you to think about what you could deliver to your audience, to listeners, I'm going to say to readers, that could be delivered by way of audio or video. All right. Let's see here. Dr. Hobson says, should we be worried about people sharing links from our e-course? So you can put, of course, your, as soon as you create the content, you can put the copyright disclaimer that is per a copyright lawyer. You can put a copyright disclaimer. I would say in most cases in the e-course, you're probably not giving away, trade secrets. You're probably not telling them how to build a skyrocket or anything really amazingly huge. So I would say you would be fine. You can just put your disclaimer in there that that this content is copywritten and it should remain copywritten. All right. Great. And let's see here. Ann said live webinars, what we're doing right now. Exactly. So this is exactly an example of a live webinar. So we're on video. You see presentation materials. I've jumped over to websites. And so that gives you the opportunity to show more. So if you have content or what you need to deliver is more visual, again, based off of your book content, then a webinar is going to work well. Typically, you can charge more for a webinar than you do for a teleseminar. Okay, so that's general guidance. Now, group coaching and group training. So some of you are at a place where you can be hosting your own group coaching. So most cases, when we talked about the DIY products, that's just individual. They download the product, they go read it, they go watch it, they go consume it by themselves. When you form a group similar to what we're doing tonight, then now you get in the space of group training, group coaching, whatever feels right for your genre, where you are bringing a group of people together, and then over some frequency, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, over some frequency, you're going to have a repetitive session with them. Some of you are at that place where the content, the themes in your book would work well in a group training or group coaching session. All right. Now, the last thing I want to mention is that most of you, and I'm hoping that you have considered having one-on-one paid consultations. And this really applies to those of you who early on answered the question of, yes, that's me, that people keep asking to have pick your brain sessions. They keep asking to meet with you for lunch and all of these things to get information. That's a clear signal that you need products and services, but also it's a clear signal that a one-on-one consultation paid should be an option that you have available. So that's something that is really one-on-one. And I could have really slid that onto the next section of done for you. It kind of borders the line, but I think you should consider that. Let's see here. Nydia said, might as well have paid consultations. I'm already doing it free. Exactly. If you're already consulting people and they're asking you, how did you do this? What did you do with this? And in particular, if it's based off of content that you cover in your book, then absolutely you all should consider having a one-on-one paid consultation. So those are examples of done with you types of products that you could have based off of your expertise in your area of knowledge when it comes to your book content. All right, so we got to do some math. So let's just say live teleseminar, again, on the phone. They don't see you. It's just by phone, content you're covering based off of themes in your book. 20 people show up, $47 per person. You just made $940. So notice how already the numbers are higher than the previous DIY because you are involved and you are your highest commodity. You are your highest level of commodity. So whenever you get involved, then the prices have to go up. Look at the webinar. What if just 30 people sign up for one of your launches and you charge $97? You just made almost $3,000. And you didn't have to rent a hotel room. Listen, I host conferences and workshops. I know. You didn't have to buy lunch. You do this from the comfort of your home. Again, one bedroom shoe can be on and one bedroom shoe can be off. And there are tools that you have available, just like we're using tonight. So you don't have an excuse to say, I don't know how to do it. You're on this one. And so you can figure it. You will be able to figure it out. There are tools available to you. Listen, that's an example there. Now let's move into the group coaching, the group training thought process. So again, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. In this case, let's just say it was a 3-week training and 10 people signed up for $297 a piece. You just made, again, right under $3,000. Okay. And that group training could be by telephone or it could be by video. You could decide what works best. All right. You could decide what works best. And that is that there. All right. I just want to say, and I put this note here to make sure, you put yourself in the brand. And I think that is the main thing that you want to think about with your content from your book, is that the book has been created, but now how else can you put yourself in the brand? All right. How else can you get yourself in there so that you can generate more revenue? Because remember, people want to see you. People want to hear from you. People want to see from you, see you, and you are the brand. All right, so let's keep it moving here. Okay. Oops. And let's get rid of this. All right, there we go. Okay, and so done for you, we're going to wrap up with done for you. These are services that, again, you are actually going to perform the service for the actual customer. And this varies wildly, so it really just depends on your book content and what you bring, what expertise you bring to the table. Yulika, she may be on here. She's provides accounting services, but she wrote a book called, and it's basically showing you how to use QuickBooks. So she's written a book about how to use QuickBooks, but then if you get the book and read it and say, you know what, I'm still confused, I just need to hire you, that's done for you services. All right. So just want you to think about that. Some of you in the health and wellness arena, maybe your book is about how to juice and giving them tips for juice, but then there may be clients that say, can you just create the juice for me? Just something to think about. Life coaches, I think, in a similar space. So that's kind of the done for you. Again, a little bit harder to talk about since we don't know everybody's area of expertise, but it's something that I want you to think about. And you can see the price point is the highest price point because you are fulfilling on that service and that request. All right. So as a recap, you got 3 buckets, and you want to think about your products and your services that you can offer, spinning off from the book content that are done, do it yourself, DIY, done with you, and done for you. But if you're like most people, and most of us, if you're like most people, you're probably thinking, some of you anyway, is I don't have enough content, or I don't really grasp how I would create a virtual product or a digital product or a workbook, or I'm not really sure. Or there's some of you who have a ton of content. You've got a ton of stuff from your book and a ton of ideas, but you just don't know what to do with it. You don't know what to do with it. And so that may be some of you. But I would say that most of you likely see that other people are offering virtual products, digital products, sessions, and they're offering it with confidence, and they're getting customers, and they're generating more revenue outside of the book sales. So clearly this works. Clearly having virtual and digital products works. And so if you would like for me to help you implement, because that's really, really the deciding factor at this point is, you know what, Charbet, how do I implement this? How do I implement new products? And so if you're fine with that, I would be glad to share. So just let me know in the chat if this is a good time to share how I can help you implement this. Even if just one person says, yes, share, that's all I'm looking for. If this is a good time for me to share, okay, perfect. So thank you. I see some yeses in there. So I'm so excited to tell you about Product Academy. Product Academy launched the beginning of this year. We had sessions. There is an October 1st enrollment for Product Academy that is coming up. It is 8 weeks. 8 full weeks live with me. Listen, you can't get any better than that. 8 weeks live with me by video, just like we're doing tonight. Live interactive, is guided, and it is implementable. So you can walk away and implement and be selling and be generating revenue. That is the difference, because what I bring to the table as a coach is not only do I bring strategy, I bring the how-to. That's the beautiful thing about being a web designer, is some of the things you get strategy, but then you get caught up on, okay, well, so how, if I create a workbook, how are they gonna get it? I don't know how to get it to them. That's what I bring to the table, because I do know how to get that to them. So let me describe what the 8 weeks is all about and what's covered. And again, it starts October 1st. Week 1, we're going to talk about email courses, or e-courses. So those are the courses that you can deliver by way of email. The structure, give you some scripts, give you a template. That's week 1. And week 2 is about email courses and the payment. Like, how do I set up payment? How do I implement? That's all covered in week 1 and 2. Week 3 is all about ebooks, and I put ebook kind of as a summary, but that includes workbooks, worksheets, templates, any kind of PDF or digital download that you're going to give them that we've discussed tonight. That'll be covered in week 3. I actually give some ebook templates so that you don't struggle with the design. Like, okay, I've got the content out. It looks boring. I need to dress it up. And so week 4 is about ebooks. Okay, how do I get payment, and how do they get the workbook, the template? You'll know how to get it delivered and how to get paid, which is the most important. Week 5 and week 6 is all about creating audio courses. So week 5, we talk about the pre-recorded audio. So when I jumped over to my site and showed you the radio interviewing 101, that was a pre-recorded. I sat down, pre-recorded it for 14 minutes, and I sell it for $10 on my site, literally based off of 3 pages out of one of my books. And that's just one example. So how do you do that? And then how do I get paid, and how do I deliver it to the client? Then week 6 is all about audio courses, but the live version. So if you don't want to pre-record, but you want it live, and oh, by the way, you always can charge more for live than you do for pre-recorded. Typically, you always can charge more because they get the opportunity to ask questions and interact with you. And you'll know how to get payment and how to implement. That's week 6. Week 7 is all about video. And so week 7 and 8 is video courses, but week 7 is all about the pre-recorded videos. So some of you, I realize that being in front of people live, like we're doing tonight, would kind of just like freak you out initially. So you can create video courses that are pre-recorded. So you have the time to stop and pause the video and, do all of that good stuff, but pre-recorded. But then I'm going to tell you how you can sell it and how they're going to be able to see the recording and all of that. And then week 8 is all about live video, literally just what we're doing tonight. You will know how to create video courses, webinars, live sessions, such as group coaching, group training, that you will be able to sell. Again, all of this based off of the area of expertise that you have from the content that's covered in your book, because you already have the content. That's the brilliant thing about authors. You all have it already. And so how does this work? This is how it works. So like, what are the details, Charvette? So Monday, October 1st is the first session, 8 p.m. Eastern. So I try to account for our friends in California. And it's a 60-minute session. And we have the sessions every week, every Monday for 8 weeks straight. Yes, yes, yes. It is back to business. It is back. The kids are back to school. It is back to business. We're going to finish 2018 strong. We're going to be leaping into 2019 and our generating the revenue that we want. Weekly, these are live. So I've made a point to say these are live. These are not pre-recorded videos. These are not videos that you kind of go and take on your own. It is live with me, but I do record them. I do record them so that you're able to go back and look at them again. And as you're working through and creating digital courses, maybe at one point you're working on one, then you're saying, okay, it's a couple weeks now, I need to work on the other one. I need to look at the video again. You get lifetime access to all of the video sessions. So that is Product Academy. But wait, you guys, wait. I got to talk to y'all about the bonuses. Let me just tell you about the bonuses, because the course itself is off the chain, but let me tell you about the bonuses. So in addition to the 8 weeks live, You also get access to Facebook Academy for Entrepreneurs. All right. Facebook Academy for Entrepreneurs. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me do this. Let me show you. Let me go into the Academy. Let me show you. This is just one of the bonuses. I want to actually show you in the Academy so you can see what it looks like. So I'm sharing now, and let me jump over, get this out of the way. Let me go over here. Okay, this is inside. I'm logged in. I logged in on purpose to make sure I could show you all. This is actually the bonus. You get access to my Facebook for Entrepreneurs Academy, which is an online academy that I myself personally created. There's bonus content. I have a special section for authors, just for authors in here. That's bonus. But then I go through 6 different sections. And when you click on each section, this is all about Facebook and marketing. So you can leverage, you'll know how to market your brand on Facebook. So you can see week 1, there's 5 videos in this portal alone. So you're able to come in here and take the content. You can pop around. And there may be some Facebook Academy members here. If you have Facebook Academy access, go ahead and let us know in the portal. I'm not sure. But you're able to go through all of the weeks. Now, some people binge watch. I'm a Netflix binge watcher myself. But some people binge watch. But you can have the flexibility of saying, you know what? I'm going to pop around and see what it is that I need for this period in time, and then you can decide, okay, well, I want to look at this particular module, and then there's the video. If there's a download, it's all in here. And so there's 6, you can take it in 6 weeks. Some clients take it sooner, some clients stretch it out. But this is a bonus that comes with Product Academy. You get access to all of this. All right, you get access to all of this. You know what? While we're here, I forgot I brought up one of our Product Academy members, Shauna K, and she may be in here or may watch this later. She went through Product Academy in the February session. And she just put out a couple days ago, this is one of her virtual courses. Now, Shauna is an author she's one of the co-authors in the book that I'm in, Get It Done, Design the Business of Your Dreams. And her chapter is about my story. Her chapter title is How My Story Led Me to Connect with Women on My Path. So she talks about connecting your message, telling your story. She has put together this you can see here is a 45-day online interactive program. She's got webinars lined up here. She's got different tasks for them to do. And this is at a $597 price point. So I just wanted to show you that. This is Shauna. She took Product Academy in our last session. All right, so let me jump back over to share a little bit more about Product Academy so that you have it here. All right, so I just showed you about Facebook Academy. You got the behind the scenes, and that if someone just wanted to buy that, that's valued at $297. That's something you can go and purchase. Okay, you also get a webinar that I created. It's 90 minutes long about how to create landing pages. Because a lot of times people say, well, I have something, but I just need a quick little page to put it up so I can sell it. You get complimentary access to this product, which is how to create landing pages, and it's sold for $87. That is bonus number 2. And then bonus number 3, guess what? You get a copy of my book, Get It Done, Design the Business of Your Dreams. You get a copy of that, and that comes with the bonus there. All right. And so I know the next question is, okay, Charvette, so that sounds good. So how much is Product Academy? How much is this? All right. So let me just say, if you were going out and you were going to have a consultant or a coach do an individualized plan for you, and they just sat down and said, okay, based off of your book, these are the types of products you should do. Let's create an individualized plan. You pay over $5,000 for that, like easily. And I'm sure there's some content creators in here who could attest to that. Even if you say, you know what, I'm going to go to a local college and take a course, or even online college and take a course, maybe related to this topic. And in particular, 8 weeks, around the 8 weeks time period, you'd pay well over $2,000 for that if you were going that route. Just to kind of give you some examples. The total value for Product Academy, with the bonus of Facebook Academy, the bonus of the landing page, of course, throwing my book in, and the 8-week live academy, the total value is $2,896. That's the total value of what is brought to the table. So that's a savings really of $397, because typically the retail value for Product Academy is $2,500. So if you're on my site in any time outside of our launch, typically $2,500 is what Product Academy is. But wait, somebody type in the comments, wait. For Product Academy, for the October 1st launch, again, 8 weeks live with me, I've literally shown you through the numbers of how you would make back your investment. Total investment for Product Academy, October 1st launch, $150 per week. So that's $1,200 for Product Academy, Product and Course Academy. It's $150 per week. That's Product Academy. But wait, that's what I had on my website before we hosted this webinar tonight. And as I mentioned, I am someone that's passionate about authors, because I'm one. So I wanted to do something in particular, something special. So if you looked at Product Academy before, those of you who had looked at it before, you know that the value and the amounts. I have a special for 24 hours until 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for authors, that your Product Academy can be $100 per week, which is a total investment of $800, which again, we mentioned a couple of them that you make that back in one launch. $800, and you would spend 8 weeks live with me, plus the bonuses, $100 per week. Product Academy, you can enroll for $800. Okay? And to enroll, you simply go to myacademy.biz/product. And I'll drop that in the chat, myacademy.biz/product. You can also screenshot that. I will send an email follow-up to make sure you have that link, but you would enroll there. And let me just share an example of just, what people are saying. And so Rita Stewart, she actually did one-on-one sessions with me, because she actually got her product done. And Rita, I think, is in here before I launched Product Academy. And so she was like, this is the inbox. I just grabbed it from the inbox. And Rita, if you're in here, I think I saw you earlier. You can chime in. So she said, so I just need to share this with you. The greatest feeling ever since my journey online was the day when I received notification of the first automated sale of my own product and course. And then she goes into some other things as well. And so she's somebody you could actually reach out to and online and say, hey, tell us about your experience. Again, she did a one-on-one with me related to this before the Product Academy even launched. And so let me just say, I know some of you are saying, Charvette, I have signed up for things in the past. I have signed up for courses. I have signed up for videos. What I need is accountability. That's some of you. You've signed up for things, you've joined courses, but the accountability of what's the action I really need to implement. And so for those of you who are in that space who are saying, I really need the accountability, I came up with a VIP option for Product Academy. And so the VIP option, you get all of the bonuses. Of course, you get the 8 weeks live with me, but you also get 3 individual one-on-one sessions with me, so that we make sure you create your products. We make sure you know how to sell them. We make sure everything is set up. We make sure you have a strategy. You get 3 one-hour sessions, individual, just me and you, to hold you accountable, and not to beat you over the head, but to, again, to make sure that you take the action. Because sometimes when you have programs, some of you can get a little few notes and you can go run off and you can implement. And then there's some people who are saying, you know what, I need that accountability. I need that implementation partner. And that's what I can do if you want the VIP option. And so the VIP option is only $1,200 until 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, which is Friday. So until 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, the VIP option is $150 per week. The total is $1,200. And again, that comes with the full academy, but you get the 3 individual one-on-one sessions with me to implement and to have the accountability. All right. And so that'll go up after tomorrow to $250 per week, and the other one goes up to $150 per week. So let me just recap the total value. So some of you are kind of like thinking through the numbers in your head. So the total value is $2,896. That's what typically someone would pay for all 3 of these individually. All right. But the total investment for authors until 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, September 21st, you have 2 options. You can do our regular enrollment, which is still dynamic because you can knock it out of the park, and it's $100 per week. Or you can say, you know what, let me get the VIP enrollment for that accountability and implementation one-on-one, and that is $150 per week. I do have full payment options also at myacademy.biz/product. I do have full payment options that'll actually knock a little bit more off for those of you who are in that space. All right. And so I think the last thing, and the last thing that I want to say and just kind of remind you to think about is when are you going to really pop up in life, you know? When are you going to stop kind of sitting on the sidelines saying, yeah, other people are doing it. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know if people will buy this from me. I don't know. And I want you to quiet those voices in your head, really, because they are not true. They are not a lie. As I started the conversation saying, you know, I walked away from corporate America, doing well in corporate America, but I walked away because I realized and I saw and I have proof that you can monetize your expertise. My web design services, web designers are a dime a dozen. Let me just say, they're like singers. They're a dime a dozen. You can find web designers everywhere. But clients that come to me, they come to me because I'm a strategist. So it's not just the web design skill set that they're looking for. And then my clients tell me, they see that I can help them with on their platform and their branding and their marketing and their virtual products. And so that has proven to me, and that's why I'm sharing and I'm creating Product Academy, because these are some of the things that I did, group coachings and things of that nature, that have made me at the level that I'm at to be able to just to help you guys. And so, you know what, I want you to stop kind of thinking about doing everything. I think I see a lot of entrepreneurs who are not focused, you know, they're kind of like all over the place. I want your book, if your book came out, let's ride that book until the wheels run off. And when I mean ride the book, I mean the content. You got the book sales going, continue with that. Now, let's look at that content in your book. How can we ride that content till the wheels fall off? Because you've already done the hard work related to the content. This content can do more for you. And so I just want you to think about, when will you finally take some more action and take action? And so as a reminder, we start Monday, October 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern, 60 minutes live with me, live on Zoom video, just like we're doing. And we'll go for 8 weeks straight. We actually end the Monday before Thanksgiving. So listen, Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, you can have products ready, because you can be creating while we're in Product Academy. You can have digital projects ready for the biggest selling season on the planet. You will be ready to go. And again, all of the sessions are recorded, not pre-recorded. They're aired live, and we record them, and you have lifetime access. I never take your access away. Some people have programs and they take the access away. So make sure you check that the next time you sign up for something. And so last closing thought here, and I'll check the chat. 9:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, September 21st. You can have and be in Product Academy for a steal, honestly, for 100 per week, which is a total of 800, or 150 per week, a total of 1,200 for VIP. Now, let me say, if you are an author that is working with Audra Upchurch, please, if you're interested in this, or if you're working with Duran, please reach out to me. We have some special things going on. And so if you tuned in and you're here and you're saying, I'm interested in this, and you are already working with those dynamic ladies, please connect with me first before you make payment, because we've got some things in the works for you. So, all right, again, enroll at myacademy.biz/product, and I'm going to share there. All right, any questions or comments? How do you guys feel? Look, I see the comments. Awesome. Okay, great. Rita was here. So you can reach out to her. She's a testament to that. Yes. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of the comments. Any other questions? I realize that I tried to keep it to an hour, but I didn't want to cut anything off. If you need to drop, that is fine. Let me do this. Let me put Product Academy in the link in here for you, so that it's easy for you to go to. Oh, hey, Stacey Hawkins Adams. I didn't know you were here. She's a award-winning author. So glad to have you in here. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you so much. So if you have questions, and if you want to come on camera, you are welcome to do that. If you want to come on camera and ask questions, or come on audio and ask questions, please do. Great. Thank you so much.
Hi, Charvette.
Hi, Patricia. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, love?
I am doing well.
Good. I do have a question. I wanted to ask, I did type it in the chat also. When you were saying about showing us how to deliver the product and things of that nature, do you share specific apps that you may use or something like that? Or is it kind of a general way to share?
No, in Product Academy, you will have the system. I go into the systems and the different, you'll have multiple options. I'll go into the system. You will be able to, when you walk away, you will have a link where you can send people and say, go get my product. So it is not a theory. This is what you use. You upload your video here, you put in your connect your PayPal. I show you what to use, and you don't have to have a main website to do this. So that I want to make that distinction. Some people might say, well, I don't have a website yet. You can still sell virtual and digital products without a website. And I'm saying that as a web designer. So yes, you will know how to actually deliver the product and get paid.
Thank you, my love.
You're welcome. Latanya, do you have a question? Looks like you're unmuted. Or I might just be coming out. Hi, Serenity Collections. Thank you so much. I'm just checking this to see in the chat. I realize some of you need to jump. So I am fine with that. Again, by tomorrow, the rates go up after tomorrow. Just looking at the chat to see if I see any questions. I see Renelli, I can connect with you. I'm trying to see your original question. Any other questions? I'm trying to go through the chat here. Thank you, Nydia. Nydia is one of my web design clients as well. She's an author. She's got some digital products coming, so she's a great example too. If you just want to get a testimonial of working with me. Thank you, Dr. Nikita Garrison, for being here as well. All right. Okay. So I'm not seeing any other questions. Any other live questions? Thank you, Dr. Hobson. Thank you for being here. Any other live questions, or I will let you guys go. Let me stop the recording, because maybe you don't want to ask on the recording. Let me do that. Thank you for those that watched.